Now let's go through the rest of the darker body parts. Doesn't want to zoom down for me. There we go. We've done the arm, and now you want to do the top part of his face. And as you can see, I've gone all the way around, including around the ears. I set an angle of minus 94 degrees, closed my object. Notice that I started here on the right. On the left, I put right click, place fill end point here. By doing that, I will be able to have a shorter connection stitch to the next object. It will also eliminate that 5 rows of stitching overlap in the center. Now what I want to do is create holes in the opening. If you look down in the parts toolbar, there is a hole for the right eye, or an opening for the left eye, and the ears, left and right. So when you generate stitches for this object, you will see that there are openings for the eyes and ears. And again, you will change your random broadening to a random broadening that suits you. Going on to the next object, if I start right here, I will be fairly close to the bottom edge of the previous object, but because I had openings, I can't have a connection stitch. So went up and around and finished right there with an angle of minus 70. Next object was my hand, and because I had started the tail, or my arm I should say, because I had started the tail right there, I was able to start the arm right there. Angle of minus 112. Carrying on, I went down to the leg, and there is my leg. I started and finished it right there at this edge, and transform, create connection. Control E, and I have a long connection. So what I want to do is go back to this one. And if I set another node right here, right click and insert, right click, place fill end point here, now I will have a shorter connection stitch. Transform, create connection, and I have this little wee short connection stitch that I will edit so it goes in along the edge of the fill just by moving that curve stitch. Now, because of the angle I have set for these stitches, which was the angle that needed to be set, I won't be able to add any carving because a carve tool has to be at an opposite angle. But I can add outlines to give the effect of carving. So I added an outline right there. And I added a backward path just to define it a bit more, and a second outline right there, just to give it that extra definition, and again with a backward path. So if I show you these in red, you can see where those two outlines are. I came down across there and across the bottom of the tail, just to give it that definition it needed. Also notice, when you digitize, do not digitize in a completely straight line like this. Insert a couple of nodes, and one more, and make it just a wee bit jagged. You don't want a really straight line, and make sure that they do overlap each other. But by having a little bit jagged like that, you won't have that obvious straight line that the eye will pick out. So make sure these two sections do overlap each other with jagged edges. And the last object to be digitized was the section on the right. As you can see, again, it was with the end stitch and the beginning stitch at different points so that we could have connections if necessary and eliminate the extra stitches in the middle. And Control G, generate stitches. It looks a little bit scary right now, but it sews out beautifully. So now you have all the body parts digitized, and we're going to go on to the details.